This old cowboy had about 8 or 9 horses running around in the corral, and there was one old horse in that bunch. Had gray around his temples, and his teeth were protruding. And he looked at him, and you could tell he had a little age on him, and he says, "Dumb. That's what I'd call you. There's burrs in your old mane and tail. Looks like your master lied to me about your days on the trail." "Just a minute there, stranger," says I, coming up from behind. "That old horse you see in the corral there, I'm right proud to say is mine. And if you're thinking of calling him any bad names, I think you better be changing your mind. You see, that horse, he was born on a Saturday. And just a week from then I came. So my dad, he named him 7-Up, 'cause he's 7 days older than me. I used to ride him to the schoolhouse when things would get too tough for me. I'd skip the bunch on old 7-Up. Heck, he'd even play hooky with me. I can hear that school teacher hollering yet, 'You better come back here to me.' But try as they might, they never could catch old 7-Up and me. And when we'd get home and supper'd be o'er, well, boy, you could just bet your hat my dad'd go and get that big old razor strap. He'd take me down to the woodshed, and man, he'd flail me to a T. Then I'd sneak down to the barn. And that old horse, he used to even cry with me. And when I went a-courting to see my Mary Ann, well, it's old 7-Up I've got to thank for the winning of her hand. You see, she couldn't quite decide which one of us to take. But 'cause she loved old 7-Up, she married me instead of Tate. And there's the night that Mother died. Pop said, "You better get the doctor, son." That meant a long, hard ride to town. And when we came, the doc and me, her soul had passed away. But old 7-Up, he did his part. That's why his wind broke, now today. So step aside there, stranger, and let me come inside. These 2 little kids of mine, they're just a-fidgeting for the ride. There now, ain't they cute? They're riding that old horse, and they're just as safe as they can be. And old 7-Up, he's raising them just like he used to me. So step aside there, stranger, and I think I'd watch myself behind. 'Cause if you're thinking of calling that horse any bad names, I think you better be changing your mind.